Alright, now another type of template that you are most likely going to be setting up is a file object template. Alright, file object templates used by your file objects which hold your graphics. They will define properties for how your graphics or OLE objects will publish. Alright, most clients will have a standard specifically for two properties: the source type, whether it's embedded or linked, and the output, whether you're going to output it as the source format or convert it to a different format instead. Alright, so you'll definitely want to take a look at those two properties as you are creating your file object templates. Now for this particular template, notice how the directory was set up to be inherited and that the source type is linked. Alright, this can be very handy for your authors if your strategy is to link your templates. If you link your graphics. If you link your graphics, you may want to set up file object templates where the source type is set to linked and the directory is already set up to the directory that your graphics are located in. Alright, it will give them a shortcut in the authoring process because all they'll have to do then is tell what file name the graphic is. The source type directory will already be set up for them and they'll just have to either type in or browse to the particular file name for that graphic. Another reason why this may be a good option for you when you link, let's say for some reason the directory has to change. Your IT administrators are forcing you to do some cleanup on your network. Right? Maybe your folders are getting too large and they're running out of space. Or you found some inconsistency in the way that your directories are set up and you've got a massive cleanup project going on with those files. Well, if you are having the authors manually enter in the directory, they would then have to go to every single file object and update that directory themselves. But if the directory was controlled by the template, then you would only have to update the template directory, and then every file object based on that template would have its directory already set up. Right? So if the IT admin comes to you and tells you you need to do some cleanup in your directories, you don't have to smack your head and say, oh my gosh, it's going to take so much time to clean up author it now. Because all you have to do is update your file object templates. I've seen this many, many times. So if you do go the linked route, try to standardize your directories where your graphics are located in. Create a template for each one of those directories so that the only thing authors need to do is enter in the file name. I promise you won't regret it. Another consideration is if you plan on localizing your content and also localizing your graphics, if you have a standard set of directories that your group and author it are working with, then you will always know where your graphics are located. You can go to that directory, zip it up, send it to your localization vendor without having to comb through every single file object that needs to be localized and finding where that graphic is located. So do yourself a favor, do a little bit of legwork when you set up your file object templates where you standardize your directories so that your authors only have to worry about the file name and you will have less maintenance in the long run. Alright, so just to give you an example of what that would look like, let's go ahead and go to our training folder. Let's create a new file object template here. Alright, let's call this training screenshots. Hit apply. And let's go to the Print tab. Let's say my source type is going to be linked, and I want to define the directory. So you'd map out to that network directory where all of your graphics are located. All right. Mine is going to be on my hard drive here for demoing purposes. And we want to select the output as. Let's say that we always want our graphics to be converted to a small file size such as PNG. All right. And let's say that we always want our graphics to be resized to 80% of their size. All right, so you would go through each one of your output tabs, set the properties that you would like to be inherited, and then go ahead and we'll click OK here. Now let's test our work. Let's create a new file object. Training screenshot, and if I go to the Print tab, you'll see that directory is forced. All right, this is what we would want to happen if we were linking graphics. And so all I have to do as an author is either type in the file name if I know what it is, or browse out to it. And the graphic that I select has to be in the folder listed here, or else AuthorIt is not going to allow me to add it to the file object. So it has to come from that directory. All right, now notice it's going to be 80% of its original size, because that's what we've set up in the template, and we're good to go. All right. So books, topics, file objects, there are definitely some template types that you will want to give consideration to when you are setting up your library. Now I will tell you that out of the box, AuthorIt comes with a lot of object templates that you can use for your documentation. You can use them as is. You can modify them or tweak them to suit your purposes, and you can absolutely create your own. What we like to do during a services engagement is, if we're setting up your templates for you, we will go through and choose which of the default templates we can reuse. Maybe we'll modify them a bit. But what we never do, we never delete the default templates that we won't be using for your implementation in the event that you may need them in the future. What we'll do is create a folder called Z, something like obsolete templates, or Z unused. All right, and we put a Z here because it then sorts to the bottom of the list. We would then go through and move any of those object templates that we don't recommend you use at this time to that Z unused folder, all right, to clean up the author's view. And then in the administrator module, we would actually remove author's security rights to view the Z unused folder, so that they don't know that the templates are there. They don't even know that the folder's there. Of course, the designers and the admins know that that folder is there, and they can possibly see it in the library. But that folder is there to keep those templates just in case you think you might need them. All right, because we do have some cases where you contact tech support and they may ask you, well, where's your chapter template? Or, you know, where's your section template? And you say, oh, I don't know, I deleted it. And it is actually located in your Z unused folder if you just kind of paused, did a little cleanup on your library instead of doing mass deletes of the templates that come with your library by default. All right, we do not recommend that you delete those templates unless you really, really think you'll never use them.